The world is filled with traps in practically every corner, ready to undermine the essence of masculine power. Just carefully observe the movies and popular shows on the Netflix platform that are being promoted, as well as the figures being glorified in today's society. No aspect seems to escape the mental control maneuvers orchestrated by influential groups. Gradually, men are being subjected to a kind of brainwashing that leads them to accept the notion of fragility. A well-recognized story relates to a lion, and it is precisely this narrative that I wish to share with you. There was a time when an imposing lion inspired fear wherever it went. One day, this lion found itself enamored with the farmer's daughter. However, an obstacle arose. The farmer had a deep aversion to the lion, and upon learning of the affection between the feline and his daughter, he was determined to employ all means to prevent such a connection. In this way, the cunning farmer summons the lion and stipulates that he will only allow the marriage if the lion agrees to remove its sharp claws, for the safety of the daughter. The lion reflects, well, it's just a small sacrifice for a substantial reward. Why not do it? The lion goes to a rock and breaks its own claws. The next day, he presents himself to the farmer and declares, "Now that I no longer have sharp claws, I ask for your daughter's hand in marriage." However, the cunning farmer imposes one last demand, that the lion also relinquish its sharp teeth and fangs. The lion agrees to this condition and breaks its sharp fangs. Yet, when he returns to the farmer the next day, the farmer attacks the lion, taking its life. At this moment, the lion no longer had sharp claws or teeth to fend off the attack. What constituted its strength, the lion chose to willingly yield, one aspect at a time. Remember, my brothers, that the world we inhabit today is no different from this. Considerable forces are at play, meticulously weaving the matrix to keep us chained to our impulses and desires. And here is the undeniable reality. You can point fingers at the farmer or the elites as much as you want, but ultimately, it was the lion who deliberately chose to obey them. The virtue that all men should pursue is strength, whether in the professional, financial, or emotional realm. Instinctively, every man longs to feel dominant, robust, and empowered, because it is ingrained in his essence. Every man yearns for a powerful inner strength. However, many of us lack it, as we adopt behaviors that hinder us from evolving into the strong men we were meant to be. In modern times, it's common for men to complain excessively, squander resources on substances and adult material, and apologize for matters that don't warrant such gestures, all while nurturing habits that undermine their robustness. First point, ridiculing others. This is a topic not everyone mentions, but as a man of great value, you should never look down on others. You might have heard the metaphor of the crab bucket. When a crab is about to escape the bucket, others pull it back down. When you find yourself mocking others, remember this: you put yourself in an inferior position. Make that clear. Of course, this doesn't mean you shouldn't correct someone for their mistakes, but avoid turning it into ridicule. As a man, it's your responsibility to guide and instruct your peers without bitterness or ulterior motives. Remember, vigorous and self-confident men do not belittle their fellows. Instead, take note of what Mike Tyson expressed: social media made you comfortable in disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. Point 2, not taking responsibility. Going back to the story of the lion and the farmer's daughter, the main reason the lion loses everything in the end is because he didn't realize it was his duty. he had to live as a lion. His sharp fangs and claws were part of what made him a lion, but he forgot that duty and chose to set it aside. This plays out similarly in your life. Face your obligations with confidence. Repeat after me, I will fulfill my duties with pride, as they define my posture as a man. The moment you decide to avoid your obligations is the moment you decide to completely abandon masculinity. Memorize this phrase, responsibility is the price of greatness. Point 3, avoiding failure. This is a challenge for many men nowadays. Most always opt for comfort over growth. Remember that growth can be difficult and often comes hand in hand with failure. Think of the classic example of the man digging for diamonds. He doesn't know how deep the diamond is, but he keeps digging. At first, he only finds dirt with each dig, but he persists. After a few hours or days, he finally finds what he was searching for. So, remember that failure is not the end. If that's your mindset, you're destined to not succeed at anything. Think of something worthwhile. Let's say you start a business. Initially, you might face multiple failures as you try to understand the business and attract clients. However, if you stay firm and don't shy away from these temporary failures, you'll see your growth. The same goes for women. At the beginning, when approaching them, you might seem like an awkward man in interactions. However, success lies beyond those momentary failures. This is what a strong man must endure for success. We are often taught from childhood to be ashamed of mistakes and failures, trying to blame others. You might have said, "It wasn't my fault," or "that person is to blame." Those are thoughts of a defeated person. Listen and note this quote, if you will: a weak man attributes his downfall to external forces. Point 4, senseless rule adherence. Want to understand the difference between someone lacking courage and a man of great value? It's simple. The person lacking courage will always align themselves with the majority, even when it's clear they are wrong. And what's worse, this person expects the man of great value to also submit to these useless and harmful laws and regulations. A man of great value always analyzes and evaluates everything before deciding to move forward. In the current world, we've been conditioned to think that we shouldn't judge or that we should avoid acting in certain ways. This idea is getting out of control. You've become a puppet and a lab rat, accepting all the agendas and regulations imposed on you. It's okay to obey, but obey only what aligns with your purpose, with your mission. And above all, apart from God, nothing should be placed above the law of the Almighty. Ask yourself if you're someone who easily gets intimidated and seeks to please everyone. For some men, learning to say no might be quite challenging, but when you act based on truth, you'll realize for the first time that the world won't collapse around you. I've witnessed many men living in fear within their marriages, as if their wives were some kind of dictators, and they wouldn't dare to speak up or make corrections. This is a clear example of submissive submission. Fifthly, we have fragile body language. The idea of body language is crucial. It encompasses nonverbal signals like a handshake, eye contact, how you sit, how you move when walking, and how you behave during conversations and interactions with others. People can perceive whether you're a strong or weak man through your body language. Even though agendas have turned against strong expressions of masculine body language, it's important to be intentional with your body and maintain a masculine posture. Remember that body language is easily the first and most effective way to prevent others from taking advantage of you. Sixthly, there's the issue of wasted time. We always emphasize the importance of the younger years here. The range of your early 20s and even into your 30s, to some extent, is what we commonly refer to as precious days. These are the days when you should build, and build. Imagine a farmer planting a seed. He doesn't expect the seed to turn into fruit the next day. Just as the farmer plants seeds, during your 20s, you should also plant spiritual, emotional, and physical seeds that will drive your growth. However, here's the crucial point: don't expect to reap the results immediately. Keep sowing. Over time, you will have created forests and gardens that attract the right life. When I say sow, I'm talking about challenging yourself. This doesn't mean you need to work tirelessly, 24/7. However, keep in mind that this phase is when your energy is high and you have the chance to take the biggest risks. Make good use of it. Especially in youth, it might seem like you're missing out on relationship exploration while investing in yourself, but resist that temptation. It might be hard to grasp now, but as you age, you'll be grateful for not getting distracted. Listen to the advice of the wisest man who ever lived, Solomon. He said, "Rejoice, young man, while you are young, and let your heart be glad in the days of your youth." Follow the impulses of your heart and the desires of your eyes, yet know that God will bring you to judgment for all these things. Seventh point, avoiding laziness and lack of productivity with your time. What's your bedtime and wake-up time? How is your day structured? What do you do when you come back from work? These are all questions that deserve your attention. Don't treat them as secondary matters to be considered when you have free time. As a man seeking success in all areas, it's crucial that you plan your day carefully. Reflect on how the powerful managed to build the matrix so effectively. Every detail and aspect was meticulously planned. Similarly, analyze every part of your day, the types of people you interact with, and the kind of content you consume. If you don't cultivate the right thoughts in your mind, you're allowing the matrix to enter you without resistance. Laziness is one of the biggest obstacles faced by men today. You might have many business or life-related ideas, but they won't materialize if you let laziness take over. Laziness will gradually settle in, undermining your productivity without you realizing it, and that will hinder your progress. Remember, brothers, that only weak men can be dominated by laziness, because a man of value quickly recognizes it and confronts it. Always be vigilant against laziness and fight against it immediately. So, keep in mind, brothers, that modern society values weakness. It's what they seek, but your greatest virtue is strength. Seek opportunities to strengthen yourself, and remember that God is your greatest strength. And don't forget to show your support. Click the subscribe button and leave a like so that the algorithm knows the video is relevant and recommends it to more people. Keep watching the suggested videos on the screen. Now, until next time.